If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Behind every great achievement, there is a quiet, unseen force at play. It is the invisible thread that connects ambition to accomplishment. This force is not the flash of raw talent, which can often burn out if left untended. It is not the unpredictable nature of luck, which may smile upon us one day and abandon us the next. Instead, it is a skill, a practice, and a mindset that is available to everyone, yet mastered by few. This hidden engine is the cornerstone of enduring success, the reliable power source that keeps pushing forward when inspiration wanes and obstacles appear. It is the unwavering commitment to a goal, long after the initial excitement of setting it has faded. Think of the most successful people you know or admire. Consider the elite athlete who pushes through grueling training sessions day after day, rain or shine. Picture the dedicated student who forgoes a night out with friends to study for a critical exam, investing in their future one page at a time. Envision the entrepreneur who pours their heart and soul into their business, working late into the night while others are resting. These individuals come from different backgrounds and pursue different dreams, but they all share one fundamental trait. They have harnessed the power of doing what is necessary, not just what is easy or exciting. This common denominator is the true secret to their achievements. This powerful skill is self-discipline. It is the ability to take control of your own impulses and actions, aligning them with your long-term goals rather than your short-term desires. It is the internal compass that guides you toward progress, even when the path is difficult and lonely. Self-discipline is the quiet promise you make to yourself to keep going, to stay focused, and to honor your commitments. It doesn't demand perfection, but it does demand persistence. It is the difference between a fleeting wish and a realized dream. The bridge that you build, plank by plank, to get from where you are to where you want to be. The stories of triumph that capture our imagination are often presented as tales of overnight success or extraordinary genius. However, when you look closer, you discover a different reality. You find a foundation built on countless small, disciplined choices made consistently over time. Each early morning workout, each page written, each healthy meal chosen, these are the building blocks of greatness. The headlines may celebrate the final victory, but the real story is written in the daily, unglamorous work. This is the essence of self-discipline, the relentless pursuit of a better future, one deliberate action at a time. It's the silent hero behind every success story. Self-discipline is not just reserved for monumental tasks or life-altering decisions. It manifests itself most powerfully in the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every single day. It is the decision to get out of bed when the alarm first rings instead of hitting the snooze button for a few more moments of comfort. It is the conscious choice to put your phone away during a conversation, giving your full attention to the person in front of you. These moments may seem trivial on their own, but they are the training ground where the muscle of self-discipline is strengthened. Each small victory over momentary impulse builds momentum for the larger battles ahead. Consider the simple, everyday scenario of being offered a slice of cake when you are trying to maintain a healthy diet. Others around you might indulge without a second thought, but you politely decline. In that moment, you are exercising a profound form of self-control. You are choosing the long-term satisfaction of your health goals over the fleeting pleasure of a sugary treat. This act is a powerful declaration of your priorities. It is a testament to your ability to delay gratification in service of a more meaningful outcome. This is self-discipline in its most practical and relatable form, a quiet act of self-respect that reaffirms your commitment to yourself. These daily choices accumulate over time, creating a powerful compounding effect that shapes the very trajectory of our lives. The person who consistently chooses to read a book instead of scrolling through social media builds a wealth of knowledge. The individual who saves a small portion of their income each week builds financial security. The one who practices an instrument for just 15 minutes a day develops a remarkable skill. None of these outcomes happen overnight. They are the direct result of a long series of disciplined decisions, each one a small vote for the person you aspire to become. It is through this consistency that we transform our identity. Ultimately, self-discipline is the art of becoming the master of your own life, rather than a slave to your fleeting moods and impulses. It is about recognizing that you have the power to choose your response in any given situation. While motivation is a powerful spark that can get you started, it is an unreliable emotion that comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady engine that keeps you moving forward, regardless of how you feel. It is the inner strength that allows you to show up for yourself and your goals, creating a life not of chance but of deliberate design. So, what exactly is self-discipline when we strip away the grand notions and look at its fundamental core? At its heart, self-discipline is the profound ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the capacity to subordinate your immediate feelings, moods, and impulses to a higher, more important purpose. It's the voice of reason that calmly overrules the siren call of procrastination, laziness, or distraction. Think of it as your internal CEO, making executive decisions for your long-term benefit, rather than letting temporary emotions run the company. It's not about waiting for the right mood to strike, it's about creating the right outcome through deliberate action, regardless of your state of mind. This principle separates those who merely dream from those who actively build. We all have moments of inspiration where we feel motivated to change our lives, start a new project, or adopt a healthier habit. But motivation is a fickle friend. It's an emotion that ebbs and flows with our energy levels, our circumstances, and even the weather. Self-discipline, in contrast, is not a feeling. It is a commitment, a conscious choice to act in alignment with your values and goals. It's the resilience that gets you to the gym after a long, tiring day at work when your couch is calling your name, understanding that the discomfort of the workout is temporary but the regret of inaction can linger. Self-discipline is essentially the inner strength that empowers you to choose what is right over what is easy. The easy path is almost always the one of least resistance. Hitting snooze, ordering takeout instead of cooking, scrolling through social media instead of reading a book. These choices provide instant comfort, but often lead to long-term dissatisfaction. The right path, the disciplined path, often involves initial friction and discomfort. It requires effort, focus, and the willingness to delay gratification. It is the conscious decision to wake up at 5 a.m. to work on your side hustle, or to choose a crisp salad over greasy fries, knowing that these choices are investments in your future self. Therefore, self-discipline can be seen as the master skill for personal growth. It is the bridge between your intentions and your reality. Without it, even the most brilliant plans and ambitious goals remain nothing more than wishful thinking. It's the engine that converts the potential energy of your dreams into the kinetic energy of tangible progress. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of weakness, or that you must be a robot devoid of emotion. It simply means that you have developed the strength to ensure your actions are guided by your deepest commitments, not your most fleeting desires, making the difference between a life of goals and a life of regrets. At its core, every act of self-discipline is a battle between two competing versions of yourself, the present self and the future self. The present self is driven by immediate gratification. It wants pleasure, comfort, and ease right now. This is the part of you that craves the extra slice of pizza, the next episode of a binge-worthy show, or the validation from a social media notification. It operates on instinct and impulse, prioritizing short-term feelings over long-term consequences. This is not an inherently bad part of us. It is a primal, deeply ingrained system designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain in the immediate moment, a remnant of our evolutionary past. On the other side of this internal conflict is the future self. This is the version of you that holds your aspirations, your goals, and your vision for a better life. Your future self wants to be healthy, financially stable, knowledgeable, and accomplished. It understands that achieving these states requires sacrifice and effort in the present. Self-discipline is the act of siding with your future self. It is the conscious decision to endure a small amount of discomfort now in exchange for a much greater reward later. It's about having the foresight to recognize that the choices you make today are the building blocks of the life you will live tomorrow, and choosing those blocks wisely. This internal negotiation happens hundreds of times a day. When your alarm goes off, your present self begs for more sleep, while your future self knows that starting the day early is key to productivity. When you sit down to work, your present self wants to check your email or browse the internet, while your future self needs you to focus on the important task at hand. Every time you choose the action that serves your long-term goals, you are casting a vote for your future self. You are reinforcing the idea that your aspirations are more important than your momentary impulses, thereby strengthening the neural pathways that govern self-control. Ultimately, mastering self-discipline is about learning to consistently win this battle of now versus later. It's about becoming skilled at delaying gratification. This doesn't mean you must live a life of constant denial and austerity. Instead, it means you make choices with intention. It's the understanding that the brief pleasure of procrastination is nothing compared to the profound and lasting satisfaction of accomplishment. By consistently making choices that benefit your future self, you are not just building a better future. You are actively creating a more powerful, resilient, and fulfilled present version of yourself who is capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. It is crucial to understand that true self-discipline is not about punishment, restriction, or being harsh on yourself. In fact, it is the exact opposite. Practicing self-discipline is one of the highest forms of self-respect you can demonstrate. When you choose to do something difficult that you know is good for you, you are sending a powerful message to yourself. I am worth the effort. My long-term well-being is more important than my short-term comfort. This act of honoring the promises you make to yourself builds a deep and resilient sense of self-trust, which is the foundation of genuine confidence and high self-esteem. Think about it this way: when you consistently let yourself down by breaking promises, like sleeping in when you promised to wake up early, or procrastinating on a project you promised to start, you erode your own self-trust. You begin to believe that your words and intentions don't mean much. Conversely, every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are reliable and capable. Choosing to study instead of watching TV isn't a punishment. It's an act of respect for your future intelligence and opportunities. Going for a run when you feel tired isn't self-inflicted pain. It's an act of respect for your physical health and vitality. This perspective transforms self-discipline from a chore into a privilege. It ceases to be a burden and becomes an empowering tool for self-care. It's about loving yourself enough to make the hard choices that lead to growth and fulfillment. This is a far cry from the common misconception of a drill sergeant shouting in your head. Instead, it's more like a wise and caring mentor, guiding you toward your best self. It acknowledges that the path to excellence requires effort, but frames that effort as a positive, life-affirming journey rather than a path of deprivation. True discipline nourishes your spirit. It does not crush it. Therefore, the next time you face a choice between the easy path and the disciplined one, reframe the decision. Don't see it as a test of your willpower, but as an opportunity to show yourself respect. Ask yourself, which choice honors the person I want to become? By viewing discipline through this lens, you cultivate a positive relationship with the process. You are no longer fighting against your own desires, but rather aligning your actions with your deepest values. This is the secret to sustainable discipline. It comes from a place of self-love, not self-loathing, and it builds a life you are not only proud of but also genuinely happy to live. Think of the most successful people you admire, whether they are pioneering entrepreneurs, world-class athletes, or groundbreaking artists. What truly separates them from the rest? While talent and opportunity certainly play a role, the one common denominator that underpins all their achievements is an unwavering commitment to self-discipline. They understand a fundamental truth. Goals, no matter how brilliant or ambitious, remain as mere dreams without the consistent action required to bring them to life. Self-discipline is the essential ingredient that transforms a wish into a reality. It is the raw material from which all great successes are forged, turning abstract ideas into tangible outcomes through daily focused effort. Talent can give you a head start, but it is discipline that gets you across the finish line. Motivation can provide the initial spark to begin a journey, but it is an unreliable and fleeting emotion that cannot be counted on to carry you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks. When the initial excitement fades and the hard work begins, motivation often disappears. This is where discipline takes over. It is the steady, reliable engine that keeps you moving forward day in and day out, regardless of how you feel. It is the commitment to show up and do the work even when you are tired, uninspired, or discouraged, ensuring that progress never comes to a complete halt. Consider two individuals with the same goal to write a book. The first person waits for inspiration to strike, writing only when they feel motivated. Their progress is erratic, with long periods of inactivity followed by short bursts of creativity. The second person, however, practices self-discipline. They commit to writing 500 words every single day, whether they feel like it or not. While the first person's manuscript remains a collection of scattered chapters, the second person steadily builds their book, page by page. Over time, discipline creates a momentum that inspiration alone never could, proving that consistency will always outperform sporadic intensity. Without self-discipline, your potential remains locked away, and your greatest goals will forever stay just beyond your reach. It is the crucial link in the chain of success, the mechanism that converts your intentions into actions and your actions into results. It ensures that your efforts are not wasted but are instead compounded over time, leading to exponential growth and achievement. With discipline, you are no longer a passive dreamer hoping for a lucky break. You become the active architect of your own success. You become unstoppable, not because the path is easy, but because your commitment to walking it is absolute. The importance of self-discipline extends far beyond the achievement of external goals. Its most profound impact is on your internal world. Every time you honor a commitment you've made to yourself, every time you choose the difficult but right action over the easy but wrong one, you are building something incredibly valuable: self-trust. You are teaching your subconscious mind that you are a person who follows through. This repeated act of keeping promises to yourself is the very foundation of genuine, unshakable confidence. It is a confidence that does not come from external validation or praise, but from the deep, internal knowledge that you can rely on yourself. This process of building self-trust simultaneously forges your character. Character is not something you are born with. It is something you build, choice by disciplined choice. When you push through a tough workout, you build resilience. When you stay focused on a task despite distractions, you build focus. When you are honest, even when it is difficult, you build integrity. Each act of self-discipline is like a hammer striking steel, shaping and strengthening the core of who you are. It molds you into a person of substance, someone whose actions are aligned with their values, creating a powerful sense of personal integrity and inner strength. Think of it as a positive feedback loop. When you use discipline to achieve a small goal, you prove your capability to yourself. This success boosts your confidence, which in turn makes it easier to tackle the next slightly larger challenge. This upward spiral of achievement and self-belief is incredibly empowering. It transforms your self-perception from someone who struggles with follow-through to someone who is capable and dependable. The person who once saw themselves as lazy or unmotivated begins to see themselves as disciplined and determined. This shift in identity is one of the most powerful transformations that self-discipline can bring about. Ultimately, the confidence and character you build through discipline become your greatest assets. They are the internal resources you can draw upon when faced with life's inevitable adversities. When challenges arise, you will not crumble because you have a history of overcoming self-imposed difficulties. You know you have the grit and resilience to persevere. You have built a foundation of inner strength that makes you less susceptible to doubt and fear. Self-discipline, therefore, is not just about getting things done. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever life throws their way. It may sound like a paradox, but one of the greatest rewards of self-discipline is true freedom. Many people mistakenly view discipline as a form of restriction, a cage that limits their choices. However, the opposite is true. A lack of self-discipline is what truly enslaves you. It makes you a slave to your appetites, your moods, and your impulses. Without discipline, you are trapped by procrastination, poor health, and financial stress. You are not free to pursue your passions if you are constantly held back by your own inability to manage your time, energy, and resources effectively. True freedom is about having choices, and self-discipline is the key that unlocks those choices. The discipline to manage your finances gives you the freedom from debt and the ability to invest in your dreams. The discipline to take care of your health gives you the freedom of energy and vitality, allowing you to live life to the fullest. The discipline to master a skill gives you the freedom of career opportunities and personal fulfillment. By making disciplined choices in the present, you are actively creating a future with more options, more possibilities, and more control over the direction of your life. Furthermore, self-discipline is essential for living a meaningful life. A life of meaning is rarely a life of pure ease and comfort. It is a life of purpose, and purpose requires effort and commitment. Whether your purpose is to raise a family, build a business, create art, or contribute to your community, it will demand that you show up and do the work, especially on days when you don't feel like it. Discipline allows you to align your daily actions with your deepest values, ensuring that you are not just passing the time, but are actively investing your life in things that truly matter to you. In the end, the importance of self-discipline lies in its power to build a life you are genuinely proud of. It is the tool that allows you to close the gap between the person you are and the person you want to become. It is the path to achieving your goals, building your character, and earning your own freedom. It is not about perfection, it is about consistent progress. Every disciplined choice is a vote for a better future, a step toward a more empowered and fulfilling existence. It is the quiet power that transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. One of the most pervasive and damaging myths surrounding self-discipline is the idea that it is a harsh, restrictive form of self-punishment. Many people picture a life of discipline as a grim existence, devoid of joy, spontaneity, and pleasure. They imagine an internal drill sergeant constantly shouting orders, forcing them into a rigid routine of denial and austerity. This misconception paints discipline as a negative force, something to be endured rather than embraced. It suggests that to be disciplined, one must constantly fight against their own nature, suppressing every desire and living a life of joyless obligation. This could not be further from the truth, and is a core reason why many people fail to cultivate it. The reality is that authentic self-discipline is not about punishment. It is the ultimate act of self-respect and self-care. It stems from a place of valuing your future self more than your immediate impulses. When you choose to exercise instead of remaining on the couch, you are not punishing your body, you are honoring it with health and vitality. When you save money instead of making an impulsive purchase, you are not depriving yourself. You are gifting your future self with financial security and freedom. Each disciplined act is a profound statement that you believe you are worthy of a better future and are willing to put in the effort to create it. It is an investment, not a penalty. This myth often arises from confusing self-discipline with self-flagellation or perfectionism. True discipline is not about berating yourself for every mistake or slip-up. It is about compassionately guiding yourself back on track after a detour. It acknowledges that we are human and will inevitably face moments of weakness. The disciplined individual is not someone who never falters, but someone who has the strength and self-respect to get back up and try again. It is a supportive and nurturing process, more akin to a wise mentor guiding you than a harsh critic condemning you. It's about progress, not painful perfection. Therefore, it is essential to reframe your understanding of this powerful trait. See it not as a cage that restricts you, but as a key that unlocks your potential. It is not about what you are giving up in the moment, but about what you are gaining in the long run: health, skills, confidence, and freedom. When viewed through this lens of self-respect, the practice of discipline transforms from a dreaded chore into an empowering and life-affirming journey. It becomes a positive pursuit of your best self, driven by a deep sense of care for your own well-being and future happiness, rather than a negative battle against yourself. Another common and disempowering myth is the belief that self-discipline is an innate personality trait, something that you are either born with or you are not. People often look at highly disciplined individuals, the dedicated athlete, the prolific writer, the successful entrepreneur, and assume they possess some magical inborn supply of willpower that is simply unavailable to the average person. This mindset is incredibly limiting because it absolves us of responsibility. If you believe you were simply not born with the discipline gene, you are less likely to even try to develop it, resigning yourself to a life dictated by impulse and procrastination. This belief system creates a fixed mindset, where abilities are seen as static and unchangeable. It leads to statements like, "I'm just not a disciplined person," which becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you label yourself in this way, you give yourself permission to fail before you even begin. You interpret every struggle as proof of your inherent lack of discipline, rather than seeing it as a normal part of the learning process. This fatalistic view prevents you from recognizing that the disciplined people you admire were not born that way. They became that way through conscious, consistent effort over a very long period of time. The truth is that no one is born with perfect self-control. Every master was once a beginner. The marathon runner once struggled to run a single mile. The accomplished musician once fumbled through basic scales. Their current state of discipline is the result of countless hours of practice and thousands of small choices made over years. They started small, faced setbacks, felt unmotivated, and had to push through resistance just like anyone else. The difference is that they did not see their initial struggles as a sign of a permanent character flaw. Instead, they treated discipline as a skill to be learned and practiced. Therefore, it is crucial to discard this myth and adopt a growth mindset. Self-discipline is not a fixed trait you inherit, but a dynamic skill you can cultivate. It is accessible to everyone regardless of your past habits or perceived personality. By understanding that discipline is a learned behavior, you reclaim your power to change. You can stop seeing yourself as fundamentally flawed and start seeing yourself as a work in progress, capable of building the habits and the character you desire. This shift in perspective is the first and most important step toward unlocking your own capacity for incredible self-control and achievement. The most accurate and empowering way to view self-discipline is to see it as a muscle. Just like the biceps in your arm or the quadriceps in your leg, your capacity for self-control is not a fixed entity. It can be strengthened with consistent training or weakened through neglect. When you first start going to the gym, you cannot lift the heaviest weights. You must begin with lighter, more manageable loads, and gradually increase the resistance as you get stronger. The same principle applies directly to building your self-discipline. You must start with small, manageable acts of self-control to build your foundational strength. This muscle analogy is incredibly practical because it provides a clear roadmap for development. To strengthen a muscle, you must apply stress to it, you must challenge it. Every time you consciously choose to resist a temptation or push through a moment of discomfort, you are doing a rep for your discipline muscle. Choosing to read a chapter of a book instead of scrolling on your phone is one rep. Waking up to your first alarm instead of hitting snooze is another. These small daily workouts may not feel monumental, but over time, they accumulate, making your discipline muscle progressively stronger and more resilient. Conversely, just like a muscle, your self-discipline can atrophy from disuse. If you consistently give in to your impulses and choose the path of least resistance, your capacity for self-control will diminish. The more you say yes to instant gratification, the harder it becomes to say no in the future. This is why habits are so powerful. They are the result of consistently training or neglecting your discipline muscle in a specific area of your life. The good news is that even if your muscle has weakened, it is never too late to start training it again. You can always begin with small weights and build back your strength. Understanding this fact is the key to sustainable growth. It frees you from the pressure of being perfect and encourages you to focus on consistent effort. You would not expect to go to the gym once and be strong forever. You know it requires an ongoing commitment. Similarly, self-discipline requires daily practice. Some days your muscle will feel stronger than others, and that is perfectly normal. The goal is not to never feel tired or tempted, but to keep showing up for your workout, building your strength one rep, one choice, and one day at a time. This is how you transform discipline from an abstract concept into a tangible, powerful force in your life. Self-discipline is a battle between two brain regions, the rational prefrontal cortex and the impulsive limbic system. The prefrontal cortex is your brain's CEO, planning for the future and weighing consequences. The limbic system, on the other hand, craves instant gratification, comfort, sugar, distractions. Every temptation triggers a tug-of-war reason versus impulse. Self-discipline is empowering your prefrontal cortex to override the limbic system's urges. This struggle isn't weakness, it's biology. The more you let your prefrontal cortex lead, the more control you gain over your actions and future. Understanding this internal conflict is the first step to mastering self-discipline. Your brain can change. This is neuroplasticity. Every discipline choice strengthens the neural pathways in your prefrontal cortex. At first, making the right choice feels hard, but repetition makes it easier. Give in to temptation, and you reinforce impulsive habits. But you can always start building new, better pathways. Each act of self-control is a vote for your future self. Discipline is brain training. Your choices shape your mind. You're not stuck. You're the architect of your habits. With effort, you can rewire your brain for lasting discipline. Willpower is like a battery. It drains with every act of self-control. That's why resisting temptation gets harder as the day goes on. Use your peak willpower for your most important tasks early in the day. Recharge your willpower with sleep, good food, and breaks. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's essential for discipline. Don't blame yourself for late-day slip-ups. Manage your energy instead. Plan for your willpower to run low and set yourself up for success. Treat your willpower like a precious resource and use it wisely. Discipline shows up in everyday choices. The student who silences their phone to study is investing in their future, not missing out. Each time they resist distraction, they build the habit of focus. The writer who writes despite feeling uninspired proves that discipline, not motivation, finishes books. Consistency, not mood, creates results. Discipline isn't about denying joy, it's about choosing long-term rewards over fleeting pleasure. Every small act of self-control is a step toward your goals. Discipline is a habit, not a one-time act. It's the foundation for achievement in any field. Your daily choices shape your destiny. The gym goer who gets up before dawn isn't just building muscle, they're building character. Each morning they choose action over comfort, they strengthen their resolve. This discipline spills over into every area of life. The entrepreneur who reinvests profits instead of splurging is playing the long game. Delayed gratification builds lasting success. Discipline means making tough choices now for bigger rewards later. It's resisting the urge for instant pleasure in favor of future growth. These habits create resilience and opportunity. Discipline is the difference between fleeting wins and lasting achievement. Every disciplined choice is a building block for your future. To build discipline, start small, so small it feels easy. Don't overhaul your life overnight. Focus on tiny habits like reading one page or making your bed. The 2-minute rule helps you sidestep resistance and build momentum. Consistency is more important than intensity at first. Each small win is a vote for your new identity. Once starting becomes automatic, you can scale up. Think of it like pushing a flywheel. The hardest part is getting started. Small, repeated actions create a chain of success. Momentum makes discipline easier over time. Discipline isn't built in a day. It's built in small, steady steps. Start tiny, stay consistent, and watch your self-discipline grow. One of the most effective ways to build self-discipline is to stop relying solely on willpower and start designing an environment that does the hard work for you. Willpower, as we've learned, is a finite resource that gets depleted throughout the day. Instead of trying to constantly fight temptation with sheer force of will, a much smarter strategy is to remove the temptations from your environment altogether. You are essentially making the right choices the easiest choices. This proactive approach sets you up for success by reducing the number of battles your discipline muscle has to fight each day, preserving your energy for the things that truly matter. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. It is far easier to resist a cookie one time at the grocery store than it is to resist it 100 times a day when it's sitting in your kitchen cupboard. If you want to focus on your work, turn off your phone notifications and place your phone in another room. By creating a small amount of friction, like having to get up and walk to another room to check your phone, you make the distraction less appealing. Conversely, you should decrease the friction for your good habits. If you want to go for a run in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. This strategy is about becoming the architect of your own choices. You are consciously designing your home, your workspace, and your digital life to nudge you toward your goals rather than away from them. You are making discipline the path of least resistance. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence. The most disciplined people are not those with superhuman willpower. They are often the ones who have structured their lives in a way that they don't have to use it as often. They have automated good decisions by controlling their environment, making disciplined behavior the default setting for their day. Take a moment to audit your own environment. What are the cues that trigger your bad habits? What are the barriers that prevent you from starting your good habits? By making small, strategic changes to your surroundings, you can dramatically increase your chances of success. Put your running shoes by the door. Place a book on your pillow. Delete distracting apps from your phone's home screen. Each of these small environmental tweaks makes it just a little bit easier to do the right thing, and a little bit harder to do the wrong thing. Over time, these small advantages add up, making discipline feel less like a constant struggle and more like a natural way of living. Building self-discipline is incredibly difficult if you don't have a clear direction. Vague goals like, I want to be healthier or I want to be more productive, are impossible to act on because, honestly, they don't define what success looks like. To practice discipline, you need a clear and specific target to aim for. So, instead of be healthier, set a goal like, I will go for a 20-minute walk during my lunch break on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This clarity transforms a fuzzy intention into a concrete action plan. It tells you exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it, removing the guesswork and making it much easier to hold yourself accountable. When setting these goals, it is crucial that they are not only clear, but also realistic. Your goals should have a defined timeline and be achievable within that frame. Setting a goal to write a whole novel in 1 month when you have a full-time job is likely setting yourself up for failure. A more disciplined approach would be to set a goal of writing 500 words every day. This breaks the intimidating larger goal into manageable daily actions. This process of setting clear, realistic, and time-bound goals provides the framework upon which your discipline can be built, giving your efforts a sense of purpose and direction. Once you have a clear goal, and you successfully follow through, it is vital to reward your progress. Self-discipline is not about endless, joyless striving. To make the process sustainable, you need to incorporate positive reinforcement. When you successfully stick to your habit for a week, reward yourself. The reward doesn't have to be large or counterproductive to your goals. For example, if your goal is to eat healthy, don't reward yourself with a giant pizza. Instead, the reward could be watching an episode of your favorite show, taking a relaxing bath, or putting a small amount of money towards a larger purchase you desire. This system of rewards is powerful because it closes the feedback loop in your brain. It connects your disciplined effort with a positive feeling, which reinforces the behavior and makes you more likely to repeat it in the future. It's a way of telling your brain, hey, when we do this hard thing, we get something good out of it. This makes the process enjoyable and helps you stay motivated over the long haul. Small wins, when celebrated, fuel your consistency. By combining clear goals with immediate positive rewards, you create a powerful system that makes building self-discipline not only achievable but also a deeply satisfying journey of progress. It is essential to understand a critical distinction in the journey of personal growth: the difference between discipline and motivation. Many people wait for motivation to strike before they take action, believing they need to feel inspired or energized to pursue their goals. They treat motivation as the prerequisite for hard work. While motivation is a powerful and wonderful feeling, it is also incredibly unreliable. It is a fleeting emotion, a spark that can ignite your desire but quickly burn out. It comes and goes with your mood, your energy levels, and your external circumstances, making it a poor foundation upon which to build lasting success. Relying on motivation is like trying to sail a ship, using only the unpredictable gusts of wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is not a feeling. It is a system, a commitment, a habit. It is the steady, powerful engine that you build to propel your ship forward, regardless of whether the wind is at your back or blowing against you. Discipline shows up even when motivation has taken a vacation. It is the conscious choice to do what you said you would do, long after the mood you set it in has left. It's the force that gets you out of bed to work out when you feel tired, the commitment that makes you write your daily word count when you feel uninspired, and the resolve that helps you stick to your budget when a tempting purchase appears. It is dependable, consistent, and built for the long haul. Think of it this way. Motivation is what gets you to buy the gym membership in a burst of New Year's enthusiasm. Discipline is what gets you to actually go to the gym in the cold, dark mornings of February. Motivation is the exciting trailer for the movie of your life, but discipline is the daily, scene-by-scene filming process that actually creates the masterpiece. The most successful people in any field do not rely on feeling good to do their work. They rely on the systems and habits they have built through discipline, ensuring that they make progress every single day, not just on the days they feel like it. Therefore, the goal should not be to find ways to stay motivated forever, as that is an impossible task. Instead, the goal should be to build discipline so that you no longer require motivation to act. Use motivation when it appears. Let it fuel your passion and make the work feel easier. But when it inevitably fades, let your discipline take the wheel. By building habits and systems, you create a structure for success that is not dependent on your ever-changing emotional state. This is the ultimate key. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine that will carry you all the way to your destination. As we reach the end of our journey exploring self-discipline, it is vital to embrace one final, crucial idea. Self-discipline is not about achieving perfection. It is about committing to progress. The path of discipline is not a straight, unbroken line to success. It is a human journey filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks. There will be days when you follow your plan perfectly, and there will be days when you fall short. The goal is not to become an infallible robot, devoid of weakness or error. The true aim is to cultivate the resilience to get back on track after you stumble, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward, no matter what. This mindset shifts the focus from an impossible standard to a sustainable practice. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. It can paralyze you with the fear of not being good enough, causing you to give up at the first sign of difficulty. A progress-oriented mindset, however, celebrates every small step forward. It understands that consistency over time is far more powerful than short bursts of intensity. Each time you say yes to the grind, even after a day of saying no, you are reinforcing your commitment. Each time you choose the difficult right over the easy wrong, you are casting another vote for the person you are becoming. With every disciplined choice, you are building more than just good habits. You are building unshakable confidence in yourself. You are proving, through your own actions, that you are someone who can be counted on. You are forging your character, strengthening your resolve, and developing a deep sense of self-respect that no one can take away from you. This internal growth is the true reward of a disciplined life. The external achievements, the fit body, the completed project, the financial stability, are simply the byproducts of the incredible person you are building on the inside, one conscious choice at a time. So, release the pressure to be perfect. Instead, embrace the challenge to be persistent. Focus on the next right action, not the entire staircase ahead. Your journey with self-discipline is a marathon, not a sprint. It is the steady, daily practice of showing up for yourself that builds momentum and creates lasting change. Remember that every single effort counts, every small win matters, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. It is through this patient, persistent progress that you will ultimately build a life that you are truly and deeply proud to call your own. In the end, the ultimate paradox and the most beautiful truth about self-discipline is that it is not a cage, but the key to your freedom. It is the force that liberates you from the prison of your own impulses, moods, and momentary whims. Without discipline, you are a slave to your immediate desires, tossed about by the changing tides of emotion and circumstance. You are chained by procrastination, poor habits, and the regret of unfulfilled potential. True freedom is not the absence of structure, it is the presence of choice. And discipline is the tool that gives you the power to consciously and deliberately choose the direction of your own life. When you cultivate financial discipline, you earn the freedom from debt and the power to invest in your dreams. When you practice health discipline, you gain the freedom of energy, vitality, and a long, active life. When you commit to learning discipline, you unlock the freedom of new opportunities and expanded horizons. Each area of your life that you bring under your conscious control opens up a new world of possibilities. You are no longer reacting to life as it happens to you. You are proactively creating the life you want to live, brick by disciplined brick. If this exploration of self-discipline has inspired you, do not let that feeling fade into inaction. Let this be the moment you make a commitment. Give this video a like to share the message and subscribe to our channel for more content that empowers you to build a growth mindset. More importantly, take 1 minute right now to decide on a single habit you want to master. It could be small, like drinking a glass of water every morning, or larger, like dedicating 30 minutes a day to your passion project. The size of the habit matters less than the decision to commit. Share that commitment with us in the comments below. What is the one habit you are committing to build starting today? By writing it down, you are taking the first powerful step from intention to action. You are making a public promise to yourself and joining a community of others who are on the same journey. Remember, self-discipline is not just about gaining power over yourself, it is about reclaiming your freedom to become the person you were always meant to be. The journey starts now. Your future is waiting for your command.